Despite his popularity and success, he was often on the verge. Patrick didn't even want to star in Dirty Dancing because he didn't believe in the film, and he also had a knee injury that could cost him his leg.
I wanted to, gain and develop some level of respect as an actor first.
Before Patrick became an actor, he began his career with the ballet in Texas. As an adult, he later recalled that it was difficult for him to do ballet in Texas, and he was teased about it. His mom eventually enrolled him in martial arts so he could learn to stand up for himself, which eventually paid off. No one bothered Patrick about his ballet anymore. Dancing classes made him flexible and actually helped him to master various sports. And one day, he became interested in football, which destroyed the image of Patrick being a sissy. However, during one game, he severely injured his knee, forcing him to leave the sport. Patrick still had ballet though, and in the summer of 1972, at one of his mother's dance classes, he met Lisa Niemi, and it was love at first sight. They began dating, but in the fall, Patrick went to conquer New York with his dancing. Fortunately, Lisa also moved there 2 years later, and the dancers started dating again. Since then, they were always together. Patrick danced in various ballet troupes, but in early 1977, Patrick's old football injury worsened, and it threatened to end his ballet career. Patrick said that his knee was in really bad shape. Doctors told him that he would limp for the rest of his life, or worse, be left without a leg. For Patrick, such options were unacceptable. He underwent 4 knee surgeries, and everything more or less worked out. Surprisingly, Patrick later mentioned this time in his life as a positive moment. He said that it was a gift of fate because he had to look inside himself, and that's why he became an actor. So after knee surgery, Patrick chose the path of an actor, where he almost immediately got a breakthrough role, playing Danny Zuko in the long-running Broadway production of Grease in 1977. He did well in the role, showing his talent, and then moved to Los Angeles to become a Hollywood actor. Patrick said it was a difficult time in his life. He worked in a factory as a shop assistant and as a carpenter. However, he soon made his film debut in Skatetown, U.S.A., where he performed well, receiving an offer to sign a contract for 4 future films. Patrick did not want to rush, though, and wanted to improve his acting skills first. He wanted to become a real actor and act in really good films. Such a serious approach benefited him over time, as Patrick received an offer from the famous director Francis Ford Coppola to star in the film The Outsiders. From the very first of his films, Patrick showed by his attitude that he aspired to become great and that he had the talent to go down in history. However, it was during the filming of The Outsiders that a tragedy occurred when he found out about his father's death, Jesse Wayne Swayze. This event greatly affected him, breaking his heart, and it took a long time for him to get over the pain. In time, Patrick remembered that moment. He said that he didn't hold back, letting his grief come out when his father died, but there was still a lot left. Patrick became depressed and he started drinking, but his wife Lisa was with him and tried her best to get him out of this state. Patrick did not stop though, and only with the release of The Outsiders did his situation start to improve somewhat. At the same time, Patrick said that the next few years in his life were extremely difficult. According to him, he embarked on a path of self-destruction. Once, Patrick even tried to crash on a motorcycle. He didn't like himself very much then, not knowing what to do or where to move next. Patrick continued to act in films, but they did not suit him because he wanted to try himself in mature roles. And even when Patrick was offered a role in Dirty Dancing, he was skeptical. Yes, Patrick had excellent ballet training, but he was not satisfied with the level of dancing that had to be demonstrated on set. He was used to the ideal, but here he was forced to adjust and lower the bar. And even with pain in his knee, Patrick dared to do crazy dance tricks. He was told he could simplify the scenes, but he wanted to create and show something impressive, which he did. Dirty Dancing became the event of the year, making Patrick an icon of a sexy man in the role of Johnny Castle. This movie changed his life and career. Patrick became a superstar and an idol for millions. Whenever he appeared, there was a crowd of women, and they just went crazy over him. But despite all the temptation, Patrick was a faithful husband to his wife Lisa. However, the next events in Patrick's life became destructive. He started drinking heavily and couldn't stop. In addition, his wife battled with the fact that Patrick's fans literally pushed her away to get closer to their idol. All this combined led to the fact that their marriage was essentially on the verge of collapse, and sooner or later, Patrick had to decide, which he did. Patrick decided to abstain from alcohol forever, and this helped save his marriage. Having stabilized his personal life, Patrick returned to the world of cinema with new strength, starring in the film Ghost, which made him even more famous. Patrick said it was a great opportunity to bring something valuable to his work, and that film helped him rekindle his love of the craft. And during filming, he seemed to relive the same emotions that overwhelmed him after the death of his father. Meanwhile, Patrick and Lisa were expecting a baby, but unfortunately, Lisa had a miscarriage. It was a real blow to the couple, and everyone was heartbroken. However, Patrick and Lisa found the strength to move on, continue to try to have a child, love each other, and be one. It seemed like nothing and no one could break them. Patrick later starred in Point Break, after which he was named by People magazine as the sexiest man alive in 1991. Particular attention should be paid to what Patrick did during the filming. His role in the film was not easy for him. He took a lot of risks, putting his life in danger several times. Patrick did skydiving and surfing. In his attempt to conquer the waves, he fell on coral reefs several times, breaking boards, but miraculously maintaining intact. Extremely revealing is the final moment in the film when Patrick's hero wants to risk his life to conquer incredibly big waves. At this point, you can feel the crazy thirst of Patrick's adventures in real life, even if it could be fatal for him. One immediately recalls that earlier moment in his life when he tried to crash on a motorcycle. Fortunately, the filming of Point Break was a success, and Patrick came out of it safely. And even with worldwide fame, Patrick saw answers to the questions that mattered to him, and he wanted to be appreciated for his acting, not for his appearance. This really bothered him, so he was deliberate in choosing each film. Moreover, in 1993, Patrick spent a month in a rehabilitation center looking for problems to solve self-esteem. He said that he was once called Crazy Swayze and that he was going crazy over internal contradictions, so he needed professional help. At the time, he thought that he was a liar and a hypocrite because he felt one thing and said another, and that feeling made him finally try to understand who he really is. After treatment, Patrick continued his film career, but at the end of the following year, his family suffered a tragedy when his beloved sister, Vicky Swayze, took her life. Patrick was extremely depressed, as he did his best to help his sister get through the hard times. His wife Lisa and his movies helped him come to terms with the loss, and he continued acting. Patrick completely immersed himself into his new roles, one of which involved him riding a horse, and he broke both his legs. However, his unbridled desire to return to filming helped him during this difficult period. Patrick loved his job, and he did what he enjoyed. And then, Patrick Swayze celebrated his 45th birthday by unveiling his Hollywood Walk of Fame star in front of hundreds of adoring fans.
This means more to me than you can imagine. All I can say is, I ain't done yet. This is only the beginning.
Patrick probably remembered this moment and achievement in his career for the rest of his life. A little later, however, a somewhat scary event happened to Patrick. In 2000, Patrick was forced to make an emergency landing while piloting his small plane, during which the plane was slightly damaged. But the actor was very lucky and was unharmed. There were various rumors about the cause of this incident, which somewhat damaged Patrick's reputation, because according to one rumor, Patrick was piloting a plane while intoxicated. Patrick's life improved when his wife Lisa made her film One Last Dance a few years later. Here, Patrick and Lisa played the lead roles as dancers. This film only confirmed how strong the couple was and how happy they still were together, even after 27 years of marriage. Patrick never stopped looking for different roles and new challenges for himself. In 2008, he began filming the series The Beast, which became his hardest role yet, as he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Patrick battled the disease despite the constant pain he felt. When he got better, he returned to filming the series, working 12 hours a day. Patrick refused painkillers, believing that it could harm his acting. During these difficult times, he was constantly accompanied by his wife Lisa, who supported and helped him. Director Joshua Sinclair said of Patrick that he was a miracle that happens no more than once or twice in a generation. However, the following year, the disease worsened, and in September 2009, Patrick left the world. Patrick Swayze was a good man. He never gave up and was not afraid of new challenges. Patrick Swayze wrote his name in Hollywood. Years and centuries may pass, but his wonderful films will remain as a sign of his significant contribution to the world of cinema. His acting has impressed and inspired many people around the world. Patrick Swayze was ultimately a really happy man because he was able to make his dreams come true. He lived all his life with his beloved wife Lisa.